So there are a ton of mobile air compressors out there in the world, and I wanted to test the ones I had to see which one did the best. Now, Wolfbox reached out to me and they said, we'd like you to show our air compressor on your channel. And I said, I'd be willing to do that if I can test it against any air compressors I choose. And they said, no problem. So I am testing it against these 4 other air compressors. This is the one that I've used for many years from Avid Power. This is Tesla's air compressor. This is one from Fantic, and this is one from Sinkwire. So these are all popular air compressors that people have bought. Literally thousands of these have been sold through my videos. But Wolfbox believes their MegaFlow 24 Pro is the best one out there. And I actually applaud them for letting me just do the test under my terms. So here's what we've done. I have reduced the air pressure in my Rivian R1T tire to 28 PSI. It's supposed to be at 48 PSI. I timed all of these air compressors, taking it from 28 PSI to 48 PSI, a 20 PSI increase. And the reason I chose 20 PSI is because what I've experienced in road trips and weather changing is about a 5 PSI drop max in all 4 corners. So it's a realistic real-world test to where you may have to fill your car up 20 PSI, all 4 combined. The other thing that's going against all of these air compressors is it's 100 degrees in my garage in Phoenix, and a lot of them warn you to not run them for more than 3 to 8 minutes in a row, and I just ran them straight through to get to from 28 to 48 PSI. Now, right off the bat, we are going to start with the 2 worst performers in this test, and that was Sinkwire and Tesla. Tesla is worse for reasons that are different than Sinkwire, and the first thing you will notice is the time it took Sinkwire to increase 20 PSI was 16 minutes and 22 seconds. Tesla's did it in 8 minutes and 24 seconds, almost half of the time. The other thing to note about Tesla's is there is no digital readout. Sinkwire has a digital readout and an automatic shutoff feature. In fact, Tesla's is $60, and it is the only one in this entire test that doesn't have an automatic shutoff feature and doesn't have a digital readout on the screen. What Tesla has that the others don't is the gel or foam that injects into your tire and gives you temporary patching. That way, if you get a flat tire or a puncture, you're able to patch it up temporarily, drive up to 50 miles per hour, and get to a safer place. So none of these have that feature. That is nice if you want to use it. But for just an air compressor, this is the least versatile and the least advanced in terms of any type of technology. So the Sinkwire one has a really bright light. That way, if you're in the darkness, you're able to see where the valve stem is. And then you also have this red and then a fast blinking red if you're on the side of the road or putting up a signal of help is what I think that is for. And then the other thing that all of these compressors has, if you're able to cycle through preset PSIs and measurements, which is nice for a car or bicycle or whatever you are doing. Now, the other one in the test, Avid Power. This is something I purchased on my own, and I've been using it for years, and I've been happy with it. So it just edged out, just got me there. Remember that video? It just beat out the performance of the Tesla air pump, doing it in 8 minutes and 20 seconds, Tesla doing it in 8 minutes and 24 seconds. The other thing is the accuracy of the shutoff. So I was, again, going to 48 PSI. It said it was at 49, and the measuring device said 49 PSI. So it was dead on in terms of it shutting off. The other thing to note is this Avid Power one is $65.99. The Sinkwire is the cheapest in the test at $39.99. And that's not to say that the Sinkwire one is junk and doesn't work, because if you just need to fill up 5 PSI, it'll do that quickly, and it's only $40. And by the way, if I have any discount codes for these, they will be down in the description. Now, the other thing to note is the LPM, or liters per minute. Sinkwire, you're looking at 18 LDM, but the best, the most powerful in this test is Wolfbox's. So Wolfbox's LPM is 58. The next closest that actually had it listed on the site was Avid Power at 30 LPM. So you can see that this is significantly more powerful because it has a dual cylinder pump, and that is why we got some great performance that we're going to talk about here shortly. So for Avid Power, 8 minutes and 20 seconds. For Fantic, 9 minutes and 56 seconds. But what about Wolfbox? The MegaFlow 24 Pro did it in 6 minutes and 24 seconds. Also, in terms of accuracy for auto shutoff, it said it was at 48 PSI, and again, our measuring device said 49 PSI. Now, some additional features of the Wolfbox, when you turn it on here, you can kind of also see the size of it in comparison to all the rest. This is the heaviest, really overall the largest. This is probably the most awkwardly shaped. I don't recommend the Tesla one at all. I would slide that aside. The Wolfbox one, again, it's the heaviest. It has this beautiful, massive LED screen. When you hit this button right here, it clicks you over to your different measurements. And then if you want to set it, so we're on car, it's set at 36 PSI. You just hit this plus button. And it's the only one that goes to the decimal all the way up. And if you want to move up quicker, just hold that in and it jumps by individual digits. So you're able to do it a lot quickly. And there's what it sounds like. And you're able to switch the mode here to your different presets. Now, the other nice feature that the one from Wolfbox has is this light. And the reason that that is useful, like I said earlier, is because if you're on a dark side of the road and you can't find the valve stem, that's able to give you some light out there. That way you can line these ones up. Now, the other thing I'll say is the connectors on these. So these are the two different types of connections that you're generally going to see. This you just put over the valve stem and clamp on. This one you have to line up and you screw it in. That's probably my least favorite part of this, but you can actually get different hoses where you can actually get this clamping feature. That's just an opinion of mine. I just feel that this is easier to do, but this works very easily. The other thing you'll notice is there is rubber on here, and that is because after pumping these for a while, this actually gets really hot on the tips. So they include this rubber protector, that way you can safely screw it on. And you're not gonna burn your finger, but it's just hot. So not only does this have a ton of great features in it, a bunch of presets and multiple uses, it does it significantly faster than anything that you see here, while still being a reasonable size in a carrying case. You can throw this in the frunk of your Tesla or in the sub compartment. It can be totally out of sight, but it's going to be there when you need it. The other thing that I found important during this test is I have a Rivian R1T, and people will say, well, you don't need this because it has an onboard compressor. And that's true, but when I use the preset on the Rivian R1T, I set it to 48 PSI and I just let it run. I came back and my front tire was pumped up to 59 PSI, and it actually expanded some of the rubber. So I found that to be very untrustworthy, and I would much rather just have this that has the reader built right into it. I can see it with my own eyes, and I'm confident in all of these, except for the Tesla one, to shut off, because they all shut off within 1 PSI of what it was supposed to get to. So here is the case that comes with the Wolfbox one, and here is the 12-volt car charger. Again, really long cable to it, so if you run out of charge and you're blowing up a bunch of beach balls, or someone else got a flat tire or something, you even have backup power that you can use and have a wired connection, and that plugs right into the top, so you're able to use it plugged into the vehicle with continuous power, as opposed to having to rely on the battery. Now, the other thing is this Avid Power one has that same type of feature. You're able to do it wirelessly with the 20 volt, or within their package, they have this, which again, you can plug it in and that attaches to the bottom of the air compressor. So that has that feature as well. Overall, I mean, Wolfbox came to me, let me do this, let me just do the test on my own. I randomly picked these because I have a bunch in my garage, and it outperformed all of them. So I'm really impressed with that performance, and I also appreciate them just letting me do an honest test to provide just candid feedback. So again, the Wolfbox, 6 minutes and 24 seconds, the worst one being the sync wire, which was 16 minutes and 22 seconds, and all of the rest kind of fell in between there. It's also worth noting that Fantic did not list their airflow rate, neither did Tesla. Now, the other thing that's worth noting is the length of these cables. Now, that may be something you're like, oh, it doesn't really matter, but it does, because if your valve stem is on the top of the tire and you have big rims or something like that, you need to be able to reach it without letting it hang there. So again, this is where the Wolfbox, not only is the device about an inch longer than the Fantic, the cable is a few inches longer than Fantic. So you're able to get the top of the valve stem, even if it's sitting at the highest position away from you. In all fairness, Avid Power's is just as long, if not longer here. So that is another important thing you need to look at. Again, the Tesla's was fine. Sync wires was the shortest. That's just another difference that you want to be aware of. Additionally, with Fantix, you're able to charge other devices here with USB-A and USB-C. On Wolfboxes, you have USB-C on the bottom here. You're able to charge some other devices. And also on Avid Powers, you're able to charge other devices here with just the USB-A port that you can see right there. And if you want to check your battery level, click that and that lights up. You can also do USB-A and USB-C charging on the sync wire. Tesla's, you cannot charge anything. It doesn't even have a digital readout. It's really a sad device for $60 and I don't recommend it. So Wolfbox's is $89.99. This is $65.99. This is $35.99. This is a ripoff. And Fantix is $99.99. So I really want to thank Wolfbox for sponsoring this video and letting me do a test as I wanted to. Most companies, when they reach out, they want you to do a specific thing and do it to their standards and test certain ones, and they didn't ask for any of that, and I really appreciate that from Wolfbox. I think you should support a company like that who's confident in their product and backs it up, but also makes a quality product that does the job more efficiently than all the rest. So that's the pricing of everything, and I hope that helps. Now, another thing you may be looking for is what Tesla accessories are best for your Model 3 or Y, and that's why you want to click this video right here, showing some of the best ones I've tested for years now.